What up, everybody? It's your boy DTLF back with another episode of Beyond Sports, and glad to be back. Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend. It is Monday. We are exactly 10 days away from the NBA draft, and today may very well likely be the final game of the NBA Finals of the season in general. Sorry about that, my dog wilding now. But yeah, today might be the final day. It's looking likely unless Miami can pull off a miracle. So if it is the last day, I'll recap, the championship and the end of the season and all of that, and what it means moving forward, and who will be the favorites next season and all that. So I might do that later on tonight, assuming the Nuggets win. If Miami wins, I still might pop up, but still, good morning. All right, you guys read the title, man. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, welcome. What's up, Craig? What's up, DS515? King, everybody here. All right. Christian, my guy. Kitty. Good morning. All right. So Zion Williamson. I didn't really want to have to touch on the subject, right? But I got a couple of requests in my DMs telling me I should talk about the Zion Williamson debacle and what's going on with the 2021 draft class. I believe it was 2021, right? When Ja Morant, Zion Williamson got drafted and all of that. I've seen a lot of negativity bashing online on socials. I think people seem to forget that this kid is only 22 years of age, right? He's only 22. He's going to make mistakes. Unfortunately, his mistakes will be criticized in the public eye, and they will be something that is going to get scrutinized probably for the rest of his career unless he, gets back on track, starts winning again. Because remember, winning cures all, right? Winning cures everything. If Zion becomes that superstar that he's destined to be, if he can, avoid injuries and all of that, then I think everything will be swept under the rug as a back end story of his career. All right. But here's the issue I have with the whole situation. I don't care what you do with your sex life. I don't want to hear about what positions you hit, and all of that doesn't really matter to me, right? Your personal, private life should stay personal and private. It's unfortunate that Shorty is blasting everything because at the same time, what people don't understand is when you take to social media to blast somebody, you're really blasting yourself, right? She's talking about bro spitting in her mouth and all of that, degrading herself. But then again, who am I to judge, right? But at the end of the day, this is what I will say about Zion, and this is what really bothered me is that the youth, I keep noticing this, and I know it's a recurring theme here on this channel, but they need a lot of help, right? A lot of help. I think Kwame Brown touched on the subject. He has his podcast. It's pretty solid. I saw the video this morning. Usually I don't watch takes before I give my own, but he did have some solid points about how ballers used to get the ladies. They used to get the females, and now with all this this new era, what do they call it? Simping. Now they're paying 100K plus to get these shorties because they got some breast augmentation or some BBL or something. Like here's the thing, right? About the youth, they have to wake up and realize, and they have to know their self worth, right? Zion Williamson, you worked all your life to get to where you were. You were the number one overall pick in the draft, right? First overall to the Pelicans, right? You've been injured ever since, but you're still a star within your own right. And you were monthly, right? According to this shorty, monthly he was donating. I'm gonna say donating because it's gifting, right? And he can do whatever he wants with his money. He's donating 100K willingly to this girl a month. And who knows how many other girls he was paying on the side, right? We don't know. These dudes think they're ballers. They hit a couple of $1 million contracts, and all of a sudden, bam. Well, my issue is that you're injury prone, Zion. You've been in and out of the lineup. You've missed more games than you've played throughout your career. And today it doesn't promise tomorrow as far as that goes, right? He could be out of the league before we can expect that shit. Like, he could be out. And that money isn't going to come back. That money you gifted and donated, who knows how many months, 100K, 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 it adds up to millions, potentially. It adds up, fam. And that's money you're never going to see again. We're talking about the youth not knowing what to do with their money. There's a lot of people out here, man, that do not know what to do with their money. And there's seminars I'm sure they give you in the NBA. There's I'm sure there's all kinds of classes they got to take before they get drafted, all this stuff, how to act and all of that. But listen, it's like what you guys remember when Fast and Furious first came out? It was like in the early 2000s, and everybody was street racing, right? it's one of those things where there's a lot of trend followers out here. And I personally, I've never been that. I remember when Jersey Shore came out when I was in high school, everybody was, doing the same trends, the same haircuts, the same style, the same talk. I never understood it. It drove me crazy, right? Now you got these athletes trying to live like rap superstars. Bro, you're a basketball phenom. Focus on the court, focus on the greatness on the court. Follow the GOATs before you. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. Them dudes wasn't really focused off the court, right? Yeah, they failed but they got back up and they did damage, right? We all know what happened with the Colorado incident with Kobe Bryant. I hate to bring it up, but we all know what happened. And he picked himself back up and became a better man for it. Same thing with Jordan and his gambling issues that they were talking about early in his career. He picked himself up and finished a champion, 6-time champion. One of the GOATs, right? Just like Kobe. So my advice to Zion would be, dude, invest your money in buying land. Plenty of opportunity out there. Help your family out first before you help these thotties, before you help these women. And women are beautiful in their own right? I have no judgment. I'm not going to criticize what they do for their profession or whatnot, but I'm sure this female was irate because she's not going to see $100K a month again, probably, especially her exposing herself, right? So maybe she is. Maybe guys are dumb enough that we're turn around and hand her some free cash just because of the way she looks. And that's not how life should work. Life shouldn't work like that you should be able to get money off of the way you look, right? Never. It should be everybody equal opportunity, right? Land of opportunity. Everybody works equally, earns their own money. Now, if somebody wants to donate to you or bless you for your talents, then so be it. But man, it's gotten to the point where I feel like the youth is being ruined by this thought that you should get paid for how you look. And that is a big problem in America. I feel like more people should put pen to paper and get to writing. More people should get to work, chop wood, carry water, actually use your brain. And that's the way people should earn money, right? But it's not a perfect world. Obviously, you got the OnlyFans nowadays where people make easy money just off of who knows what. You got obviously strip joints and stuff like that and everything, right? People sell their body for money. And that's the unfortunate reality. But it's up to the youth, man. It's up to these young kings and young queens to figure out what they want to do when they earn those hundreds of thousands, those 6 figures, those 7 figures. You got to be very smart what you do because money's not going to be here forever. I promise you, it's so much easier to spend the money than to make the money, right? So now we got this young king in Zion Williamson, number 1 overall pick. He's currently 22 years of age, hasn't played much in his career, but already earned an immense contract just based on his potential. And you get off-court issues on top of the on-court injury issues. Now I'm scared for his future. Now I'm scared that, hey, maybe if it doesn't work out for him on the basketball world, he's going to go broke. Like many other athletes have been multimillionaires and have spent their money gambling on other stuff that's not important, right? So again, I'm not here to judge Zion. I'm here to wish him the best and hope that he can open his eyes and see that there's so many more amazing things you can do with $100,000 a month. Put it to the side, save it, or put at least half of that, right? $50K to the side, save it. The other half, do whatever you want. 25 for yourself, leisure, 25 for your family, or go out, all of that. But at the end of the day, buy land, fam. Buy land, buy property, buy businesses, and watch your wealth be reinvested, right? That land at times goes up, spikes up in value. Sometimes it goes down, but sometimes it goes up. It's like buying a stock. But it's something that you own. It's never going away. It's not like those 100K you're throwing away monthly, right? You invest into a business, sure, it might not work out. But if it does, and most likely it will because you have a big name, right? Most of these celebrities and athletes that invest into something for the consumer to consume, whether it's liquor or any brand of products, a clothing line, or just invest into something, invest into yourself, because at the long run, the money's not going to be there forever unless you can regenerate it and you can reinvest it and you can build some sort of a solid foundation where you keep receiving money. That's what I would do, man. That's what I would do personally if I'm Zion. But I get it. He's young. He wants to have fun. He wants to do the things he wants to do. Just know that every decision we make in life brings back these tremendously, great or horrible consequences. That's just the truth. We've all made mistakes. I'm not perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but some mistakes are worse than others. And, Zion, man, you're in the public eye, brother. Kids are looking up to you. You want to set a proper example. You don't want to be the example of why you shouldn't do certain things, right? But I got faith that he can turn it around. Seems like he has a good supporting system. His pops came out and defended him. He said one of my favorite sayings, which was, "Believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see." I've been preaching that on this channel for years. So his pops believes in him, and of course he should. Now I'll take a couple of questions. You guys want to chime in on the Zion situation? Definitely be reading some comments, but it's one of those things where I just feel bad for the youth. I feel like, okay, where did we go wrong as leaders and teaching these youngins that music is just music? Leave it there, right? It's feel good, it's vibe. It's like acting, right? They play a script. Not every musician lives that lifestyle. Some do, but not every musician live in that lifestyle. Some is just for the craft. It's just for the art. And it's just like when you go watch a movie, right? I just want to go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, phenomenal movie, by the way. Doesn't mean I'm going to jump off a bridge and try to be Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be consequences to that. So we got to have a strong, sharp mind. We have to be able to lead by example and not follow, because followers always end up finishing last. That's why they're called followers. You know what I'm saying? They're not called leaders. They're not in the lead. You're in the back of the line. You don't want to be in the back of the line, right? Mamba Mentality said he can pay a house and a car with all that money. There's so much you can do with money, but again, I'm not pocket watching. I'm not going to tell this young brother what to do with his money. That's up to him, right? All I can do is hopefully offer advice to everybody else that is watching this situation, making fun. Should never make fun of it, because it can happen to the best of the best, right? But what you can do is you can learn from these situations. And that way, if you're ever in a position of wealth or in a position where you can bless others, give back to the community, bless your family, of course, and yourself, you're able to, do the right things with that money. That dinero doesn't come very easily. Money doesn't grow on trees, right? Hello, Kitty says, there's good talents, but some players will never be as focused as they should. You're absolutely right. And this is for sure the comment so far. Kitty, 110%. Right? Talent can only take you so far, but there's sometimes that hard work outbeats talent, right? Not always. Most of the time it doesn't, but sometimes it doesn't. When you combine both of those things, hard work and talent, fireworks. 4th of July, baby. 4th of July. Craig said he will be broke before you know it. Get advice from Shaq. He has done very well with his money. Yes, that you got to learn from the people that are really out here thriving, even in their 40s and their 50s and their 60s. They're still thriving. They're still raising the bar as far as that goes. Look at what LeBron is the ultimate example. I mean, this dude never gets into these type of troubles, right? He's a family man. I've said it a long time, he's a perfect role model for your children. Very well spoken. He didn't even go to college. That's the best part, right? Some of us went to college and we don't even have the poise and the determination as he does. So we got to strive for greatness. You got to look to greatness and follow that example. That way, one day you could eventually be a leader and be ahead of everything, right? Mama Mentality says she's using her brain to drain Zion's bank account. Nah, bro. It's not right. Look, at the end of the day, if it was a 32-year-old man taking advantage of a 22-year-old girl, we would be on his head and we'd be like, this dude is a weirdo, this dude is taking advantage, blah, 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 blah. But it's not that way. And there's always a double standard. Listen, it goes the same way. This lady is a cougar. She's taking advantage of a young, unexperienced mind. She's got more experience. I'm sure she's done this to plenty of gentlemen out there. All right. And like I said, these ladies get these, breast implants and these ass cheeks and all of this stuff hanging all out because they know that the man's weakness is his eye. Right. And so, it's funny. I'm not a religious man, but I know what the Bible says. If your eye fails, you cut that shit out because it's going to make you completely fail. It's going to make the rest of your body follow through. And so there's always more than meets the eye, right? When it comes to beauty, and beauty should always be in the eye of the beholder, but that's a different topic for a different conversation. At the end of the day, you got to do what's right for you and your family. You got to do right by them moving forward. And then everything else comes next, right? Not telling this guy not to do whatever he wants to do, but you got to take care of your family and you got to try to build generational wealth. That's what you want to do. Hey, my guy in Ontario, he said, teaching, bro. Man, I'm just doing my part, bro. As a 32-year-old man, trying to set an example for these youngsters that look up to people, man, because, there's not a lot of great examples out there. There's some good ones, but I feel like the more popular ones, aren't teaching these youngsters the right way. You see what Job's doing. You see what Zion is doing. They're too influenced by what's popular, what's current, right? If people think it's cool to hold guns and pose with guns and all of this, you really don't understand. You're making yourself a target, right? Somebody out there's like, oh, he's strapped. All right, when I see him, I'm gonna pop him and rob him for everything he's got. There's a lot of menaces out there that are thinking negatively, and you out here flashing your gun, well, you're becoming a target, right? And as far as Zion goes, man, he's only 22. He's gonna get smarter from this. He's gonna learn. He's got to. You gotta set a better example for the kids, right? So many great things you could do with money. You've been blessed. God has given you a gift that a lot of people wish they had, right? I wish I was that explosive and built like a bowling ball. I'd be in the NBA too. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I can't say what I would do with my money, but I have a pretty good idea because nobody really knows till you're up there, right? I could talk a heavy game and then do something completely different, even though I know myself and I won't do that. But you just never know, right? Money gets to people's heads sometimes. Gotta stay true to yourself, though, man. And it's up to his stepdad and whoever is in his inner circle to step in and say, hey, son, listen, you made a mistake. You will survive. Just all you got to do is put one foot forward and just keep grinding. Keep grinding. Stay focused on what's important. Your basketball career first, family second, right? My guy said, save your salary and spend your shoe money. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would save the primary salary or invest it into something. That way, it can come back to you, right? Even if you lose, it's a learning experience. So you never really lose. You're gaining experience and you're winning in that sense, right? And then you can build upon that and eventually get a successful business that'll last you forever. And that way you don't ever have to struggle or, have to be working side jobs till you're like 80. You know what I'm saying? Like Charles Barkley, who blew all his career playing money, and now he's got to work TNT, even though he got a great job, by the way. No hating on Charles. He got a great job. But all I'm saying is, like, you got to keep working. Maybe he could have been retired somewhere, right? No bandage on the hand. Good for you. Yeah, man, I took it off. I actually want to go hoop yesterday without the bandage, and I actually hit 2 layups with my right. I was scared to try it out, though. It still feels a bit tingly. It probably needs a week more, but I'm still hooping with my left, man. I'm getting better with my left. So it's a blessing, bro, in disguise whenever something happens. Kitty said, how can you spend $100K a month? Oh, trust me, Kitty. People spend a lot more than that, especially rich people. You know what I'm saying? The more you have, the more you spend. It's a fact. It's a fun fact. For me, I spend a lot on food. I like going out. Listen, when I was younger, I was broke. We couldn't always afford to go out. It was McDonald's whenever we did, or something cheap, which is fine. I'm very thankful for all of that. Those are great memories. But now that I'm older, any chance I could go and get myself something, a nice plate, treat my lady, treat my brother, my little nephew, whoever's around me in my circle, I will do that because I can. It's a little, it's a little, and I appreciate and I cherish every moment, right? But you do have to learn. You have to learn how to save. You have to learn how to invest in yourself, in your family, and in your future. That way you never end up bottoming out because the money doesn't last forever, right? My guy says Zion is out here tricking like it's Halloween. Dan, it's embarrassing. I'm not embarrassed for the young guy. He's only 22. Embarrassing if he was 32. If he was my age and he was doing this shit, then I am more embarrassing because he already got life experience. But he's so young. He's wet between the ears, man. People are going to call him all kinds of names. But at the end of the day, he worked to get in his position, and it's his opportunity. If he wants to squander it away, then it'll be a shame. But he still has an opportunity to make up for it. I think if he doesn't get injured this year, he can reestablish himself as one of the young, up-and-coming phenoms in this game. Other than that, you might start seeing his value diminish, just like Ben Simmons, right? So it's tough, but I wish him the best, man. We cannot wish harm on our youth. They are the future. I want to see these youngsters succeed. I want to see John Morant, Zion Williamson, and the next youngster coming after them. I want to see Monty Bates, who's also had some trouble with the law. I want to see all these youngsters succeed because they are the future, man. And when they do good, we do good. The adults do good. We also benefit off of watching them, the joy of watching them strive and become great and become the best version of themselves. Imagine if Kobe would have, railed off the path and he would have went south after his whole little Colorado incident. And that would have been horrible. We wouldn't have got the Kobe we ended up with today. So it's in everybody's best interest for these youngsters, man. You got to root for them, right? They're the future. Roy said, Dan, Ja and Zion are products of today's society, specifically social media. Look at our country and the world and how the fake news and information shapes young's minds. Parents are the problem, not the solution. That is true, man. Listen, when I was young, I remember, like I said, we couldn't be in a computer room by ourselves, right? Even if it was the old bricked up computers, if they had internet, couldn't be in the room by yourself. Parents always checking on you. Why did we go away from that? Technology swept everything away. It swept morals, it swept values, it swept discipline away. Now we're letting these tablets and these phones raise our children. That's part of the problem. I agree with you 110%. Reality versus what's on social media are two completely different things. And the fact of the matter is, you know, the world doesn't revolve around you putting these thoughts, you putting these, you know, mal-raised women on a platter, giving them 100K. You know that you were raised. I don't want to know what the terminology is, but you were raised the wrong way. Because anybody should tell you you're a king. You got to know your worth. You got to know your value. It is not throwing away 100K a month, right? Kwame Brown already touched on this. He said, "Man, when I was a hooper, this was Kwame. He said, when I was a hooper, we was getting buckets, and the thotties were chasing us, not the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So that's just food for thought. How things have changed. How people post stuff on social media, and they think the world revolves around them. It doesn't. Everybody has their own lane. You got to stay in your lane. You got to follow your path, the path that leads to your success. Once you derail off of your lane, you start sidetracking over here, doing things you're not supposed to be doing. That's when it becomes a huge problem. And you're right, man. Social media is a huge problem, but it's on the parents to keep them away from that. All right. So the first domino that's crazy, y'all. And I can talk about it now because it is a podcast, but I said basketball always will dominate, even if I'm doing this segment right here. All right, let's switch gears a little bit, man. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that the first major domino in free agency has fallen. Toronto Raptors all-star guard Fred VanVleet has declined his $22.8 million player option and will become an unrestricted free agent in July. Fred VanVleet could be a Laker. This could be an angle, could end up being a sign and trade. However, but I like this kid. What do you guys think? Let me break down Fred VanVleet's game for you. All right. He's a very tough 6-foot guard or a little under 6 foot. I'm not sure exactly what his height is, but he might be a little over. I'm not sure. But in a league where most guards are 6'4" and up, he holds his own really well. He plays excellent defense, has good hands. He rips opponents from the waist down. He can strip them. Very tough finisher around the basket. Uses his body wonderfully. Can shoot from anywhere on the floor. Quick ball handles. Can get to the basket. Does a little bit of everything. So in a sense, if you got to weigh D'Angelo Russell versus Fred VanVleet, I say Fred VanVleet is a little bit of an upgrade for sure. It's not a huge night and day upgrade. D'Angelo can still eventually become the player he's destined to be and end up being the better player. But for right now, Fred VanVleet is the better player. He's a veteran. He's been in the league a couple years. He puts up big numbers. He once had a 50-plus point game, if memory serves me right. Like, this dude is legit. And what he would provide for the Lakers is a speedy, shifty guard who can play both ends of the floor and definitely space the floor. So, that's how I feel about Fred VanVleet. Now, how does the chat feel about Fred He's 6 feet tall? Okay, I thought so. How does Chet feel about Fred VanVleet? I really like him. If he does become our biggest acquisition, I would be a little bit disappointed, though, because we need some size. But I'm not disappointed by adding him, right? How y'all feeling about him, man? I like it. 22 mil. He turned out 22 mil, bro. He's talking about a MLE. Nobody's saying he's going to take the MLE, but like I said, you can always factor in the a sign and trade for D'Angelo and him. It could happen, right? So, Dan, did you hear Trevor Lane said that the Lakers should target Mitchell Robinson from the Knicks? I have not, but that would be a great acquisition. I agree with Trevor Lane. Mitchell Robinson has been one of my favorite young bigs in the league since he got drafted. I always knew he was going to be a defensive guy, and I still feel like he hasn't fully reached his potential, but injuries have plagued him a little bit. But I would like any big like that can rim protect. I'm with it, whether it's Brook Lopez, him, heck, even Nazir Reed, even though he's undersized, he's very scrappy. Also, you guys know about my top selection for the 17th pick. Derek Lively. Y'all haven't seen that video, check it out. I also dropped the second round steals video for, potentially second round steals with this 47th pick. So check that one out as well if you haven't this weekend. I dropped it on Saturday. So doing pretty well on that video as well. Bill said, I like Fred VanVleet. I think he's smart and hustles. He's also a good shooter, so I wouldn't mind getting him. He's third on my list. First is Trae Young, Kyrie, and then Fred. Okay, that's fair. And as far as talent-wise, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. He said if he declined the option, he's looking for at least 25 mil. Hell no. Fred VanVleet is a very good guard, man. Fred VanVleet is a very good guard. And if I'm going to give D'Angelo 25 mil, I'd rather give it to Fred VanVleet, if I'm being honest, Kylo Ren. And remember, the CBA hasn't even smoothed over, so the cap is probably going to increase, right? They just strike another deal, so that's probably going to go up. So that might actually end up being pretty good value, right? I know it sounds like a lot, especially based on the old contracts. But remember, the cap continues to increase and increase and increase. Now, I don't think he'll sign for the MLE. No way, Jose. But I do believe there's a way. I do believe there's a way to acquire him if they want to, right? If they want. He said, you cannot sign and trade anymore. He is not a Raptors player at this moment. Well, like I said, there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, and they can make it work. I'm not worried about that. If they want to acquire Fred and he wants to come over, remember, he is a clutch client, then I'm all for it. I'm just talking about the prospect of potentially acquiring him. I would be on it for sure. Dan, is there anyone in the NBA you think can beat that I think I can beat one-on-one? I'm trying to get back in shape, man. Right now, no way. They will cook me. Yeah, I've even seen, if you don't believe me, go watch videos of what's his name? He used to play for the Boston Celtics. Brian Scalabrine. He was cooking some hoopers easily. He was looking like Jordan out there. So there's a big gap between an average hooper and a real baller. Now, if I was in the best shape of my life again, back to when I was like 170, I would definitely at least give myself a shot, right? But the rules matter as well. Is it one shot finish? Because if it's, they can keep getting their own rebounds, use their height over you and all that, their athleticism, then they got all the advantages. So it really matters on what type of game on one-on-one. It's only a handful of YouTubers online that inspire me, and one of them are you. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. That's all we strive to do, man. That's all we strive to do is inspire the next man to inspire the next man and keep doing that. And if we can do that positively, even better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about positivity and growth, right? And I wish the best upon each and every single one of you guys. Here's the thing, right? We all want to be leaders because we're all unique, right? There's no point of being a copycat version of me, right? Be the best version of you. And that's all I inspire. That's all I try to inspire people to do, to reach the best version of you. And like Kobe Bryant always used to say, if you can be better every single day, you'll eventually reach your potential, right? Every day, all the goal should be to improve every single day. That's it. But I appreciate that, bro. Thanks for the positivity. Believe it or not, you guys motivate me as well. And I got mad love for each and every single one of you. All right. Roy said, Dan, what is important about Fred is not only what he brings to the floor, but what he brings to the locker room. He can help shape our young players. That's a good point, Roy. That's always an undervalued point about veteran free agents. Look, I'm not saying he should be our primary target. I still think our primary target should be a big man. But if he does get acquired by the Lakers, it's a good acquisition. Automatically, you have to put him in the conversation for third best player with Austin Reeves. Maybe Austin Reeves takes his game even up a notch. So I'm not gonna hand the reins over to Fred just by him joining the team. But I would say he's in the conversation for third best player right off the bat. And that's a good thing. You want to have a lot of talent. You want to keep stacking that talent. Now, a backcourt of Austin and Fred actually intrigues me because Fred, like I said, is a very solid defender, right? He might not have all the size, but he has got active hands. He plays the passing lanes extremely well, gets out in transition. He can finish. So I really like the kid, right? And he's a veteran. He's been there before. He's gone deep into the playoffs. He's done some things. He's been an impact player for the Raptors for years. He got his paycheck. Now he's declining, right? Maybe he wants a better opportunity. Sometimes you got to turn down money to eventually make more money. And if you get a big platform like coming down to the Lakers and you put up big numbers, you will make big money, right? Maybe he takes a 1 year with a 1 year player option. Who knows? Anything is possible. But he got to do what's best for him and his family, and hopefully, that includes the Lakers in his plans. 123 says, I agree, Dan. Freddie for D'Angelo would be good. Wouldn't it? Like, I like D'Lo, man. I love the kid. He's always going to be a Laker to me. And I'm not, vouching for him to get traded, but if there can be an upgrade, I'm always team first, right? And I want my team to get better and eventually win a championship. So I agree. And then, the one thing Fred does that D'Angelo doesn't is lock up. Now, D'Angelo, this time around, got a little bit better defensively, right? But in the playoffs, he was being targeted. And that was one of our weak points, right, in the Western Conference Finals, was that they kept coming after D'Angelo Russell. There was a couple of plays where he got a block shot, and it wasn't for lack of effort. It's just he's a little flat-footed at times. He's not the most athletic guy. Right? He never has been. He's always been a finesse player. He's always been very crafty. So credit to him. Not trying to shit on D'Lo, because he could very well end up being our point guard next year again, and I'd be okay with that. But I will say this, yeah, Fred is an upgrade, especially defensively. And then offensively, he gives you a little more explosiveness, right? He can get to the rack, finish either hand. He's got some hang time on him. I mean, he's nice. Fred is nice. He's definitely not Trae Young, and he's definitely not Kyrie, but he is nice. He's an upgrade. CP3 is coming 100%. That's also a probability. Again, this is why you got to love the offseason. There's so many probabilities, so many opportunities to improve your roster. And we're 10 days away officially, as of right now, 10 days away from the NBA draft, right? So it is currently June 12th, June 22. I will be live covering that. So I cannot wait for that. Keep it locked if you already haven't hit that post noti bell. I'll read a couple more comments before I get off. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Doris? Dan, what I'm trying to say is you have to sign him for 12 mil, but promise him to sign him for more once you acquire his bird rights. You're right. I mean, that could happen. Yeah. Look, anything is possible. Not likely, though. I'm not sure what way. Again, I'm not a salary cap guy. I'm not sure what way we could acquire Fred, but I know there's a way. And then on top of that, he's a clutch agent, right? So he's already been linked to the Lakers. Even in previous trade deadlines, he was linked to Lakers, potentially trading for him and the other guy, the three-point shooter from the Raptors. So, again, we're going to see, man. July cannot come quick enough. Again, Summer League is going to be lit. We got multiple draft picks. Probably some undrafted free agents we're going to get from that draft as well, who could end up being gems, just like Austin Reeves. You just never know. So it's going to be fun to try to discover who these guys are. But that's going to wrap it up for Beyond Sports. Again, if you guys are interested in more basketball talk, tune in probably later. My family's going to come over, but I'll probably still find some time to make a video, post NBA championship, assuming Denver closes the deals tonight, which they probably will. We'll have a recap of that, what it means for the future and who should be the favorite next year, all of that. So definitely tap in later on after that game, and I will see you guys real soon. Again, all the breaking news, all the Laker talk, and more. Obviously, make sure you guys do subscribe and hit that like button. And really quick before I get off, major shout out to my sponsorship Prize Picks. All right. Tonight is the perfect chance to get in on it, okay? Because it is the final day of potentially of the year, of the basketball year. And it's going to be a lot of predictable stat lines. And there's a chance for you to make money. Don't believe me? Give it a try. Promo code DTLF. And you guys get to play with free money. Whatever you deposit, you get that matched all the way up to $100. So it could be all from 10 all the way up to 100. So make sure you guys do that. Do you have a podcast? This is my podcast, brother. Read the title, buddy. You were just in it. So I appreciate you, Bill. All right, guys, it's going to wrap it up for me. Definitely enjoyed the conversation, man. Prayers up for Zion. Want this dude to do good in his career. Same thing for Joe. So let's not wish the worst on these guys. Let's wish the best and pray for these youngsters, man, because they gotta get right. They gotta get right with God. They gotta get right with life. That's what's gonna help them out. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. All right. Always a pleasure. Peace.